Welcome, everyone, to another 513. This is my version of 411 on the Heart Dealer podcast, where basically we get intimate with a guest quickly and efficiently, 10 to 20 minutes, 9 questions, 3 sections, 1 person. Today, I got Benjamin Estrada. So,
Hey.
you're the lead vocalist and drummer for the Portland, Oregon-based band BendreTheGiant. The band you released your debut LP with the band Swollen Eyes on June 12th via Tender Loving Empire Records. Sound
Yeah.
accurate so far?
Yes. Almost completely accurate.
Amazing.
I do drum, but we do have a drummer in our band. But yeah, I'm just also a drummer,
So are
and
you
I drum on some of the tracks.
are you are you mostly singing?
Mostly singing. Yeah.
So when you're hitting it live, you're in the front, you got the mic, and you're letting her rip.
Yes, definitely. I mean, we the way our group works is we can go between 3 members and 10 members. That's the way the music works. So there is times
Yeah,
where it's just 3 of us, and I'm playing on drums and singing. So sometimes I do a little bit of an Anderson Paak, multi-tool,
get it going.
arrangement of the stuff.
Nice.
But generally with the big band, I'm doing full front man.
So, I mean, I didn't see this anywhere, and I have to ask, how tall are you?
I am 6'8" is the real answer. We say that I'm billed at 7'4", like Andre, but 6'8", yeah.
That's amazing. And that'll come into play when we get into the heart. So we're going to do head, heart, and soul today. We're going to start with some rapid fire. We'll end with some rapid fire, and then we'll have like a deeper conversation in the middle. And I always start the same way. What are you obsessed with right now?
Ooh, this is hard. I've been reading Dune, because the new movie's coming out. So I've been kind of like the last week, I've been obsessively reading the first Dune book.
Have you seen the movies as well?
Yeah, I've seen the movies. I've seen all of them, even the old David Lynch one. So
I haven't read the books. I've seen the movies. What is it about the series that's getting you so stoked?
I don't know, there's something about I really love Denis Villeneuve, who's the director of the films, and he's every single movie he's made just like envelops you in that world. And I recently rewatched the Dune movies and just kind of got re-obsessed with his style. And like, there's so many things in the movie that are hinted at, but there's no explanation to them. So I kind of wanted to just like dig into
Mm,
like the world and see, what else surrounded that and what, emphasized his reasonings for all these things.
yeah, awesome. What's something you're terrible at?
Ooh. Anything that is small and requires finite hand movements, I'm really bad at like really small stuff, so I can't. I've tried many times to like crochet or I'm trying to think. Honestly, using scissors, I suck at using scissors. My hand, they don't make scissors made for these hands. So yeah,
That's fair. It's less of a dexterity thing and more of just a size of man thing?
yeah, it's like I just can't fit. The world was not made for people my size generally. So
I mean, there's some people that believe it was that,
I've
centuries
heard that.
ago, there
Yeah,
were giants among us and we've shrunk over time.
I could be what do you like a leftover.
Yeah. City or wilderness?
Probably city. Yeah. I just love going to different restaurants and going to live music, hanging out with friends. I do love the wilderness now. That's why I live in Portland. So, it's 30 minutes from either.
How do you balance the two? How do you find peace in the city?
I live outside of the city, so I don't have to I still live in Portland, but I live on Southeast, which is definitely less intense than living like in, the Northwest or on the West side. Um,
Mhm.
but I go on walks a lot. We live, you know, pretty close to a lot of parks and stuff like that. So going on walks, sitting at the park, going up to Mount Tabor, doing stuff like that.
Balancing the two. Yeah, I'm a big believer that I came up with this, I don't know, 3-ish years ago. We've been conditioned to live in chaos and then seek peace on the weekends, where it should be the opposite. We should live in peace and then seek chaos on the weekends.
Yeah,
I don't want to live next to a nightclub, but I don't mind going to a nightclub. You know what I mean? It's got to
yeah.
be balanced.
Yeah,
Um,
for sure.
what's something you spend too much money on?
Ooh, food for sure. I love trying new restaurants or just getting food. I'm a big eater. Comes with the size. Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
So give me some favorites. Like you have money burning a hole in your pocket, and you want to go and crush something. What are you doing?
I love Thai spots. There's a lot of good, Thai spots in Portland. There's a there was this really good restaurant called Grits and Gravy that just sadly closed down. That was like I just found that and it was like a really great breakfast spot. Um,
Mm.
but yeah, I love going to like the little Asian um bakeries and stuff like that, getting some bows and such like that.
Oof, bow. I'm down for a bow. Uh, do you deal with like all you can eats, or do you just prefer to go somewhere else?
No, there's not a lot of all you can eat. I mean, I'll go for like Korean barbecue all you can eat every once in a while, but those are usually saved for like, I don't know, festivities or something like that. Generally, it's just going out, me and my partner going to a nice restaurant or something like that, trying out some new Portland foods.
Awesome. Um, last one for the head, and then we'll move into the heart and get a little deeper. If you could ask Andre the Giant one thing, one piece of advice, what would it be?
I'd ask him how he drank like 90 beers in a day, how to get to that. No, it's the only thing I could think of.
Yeah, I watched a documentary with him where the guy was just like crushing entire bottles of Jack Daniels with the beers and stuff, and obviously like he was a monster in terms of his size, but it just seems unreal to be able to process that much booze.
Yeah, for sure. That's quick. What is it? The brightest lights burn out quick. So
100%, 100%. Fair, fair. All right, man. Well, let me ask you this. So I'm just going to read it because I like to put together notes for this middle part. So Bendy the Giant's music is not what one would expect. A modern version of R&B infused with funk. It's kind of got an indie vibe as well. It's modern, but it's also very nostalgic. And your new album, Swollen Eyes, reveals both reflection and emotion. And I'm just quoting you now. This is a record about loss, picking up the pieces in the aftermath and sticking around for a year to see what happens. Nothing is perfect and closure doesn't exist, but there's a light at the end of the tunnel. If you fall in the dirt long enough, eventually you grow roots and flowers will bloom. And I love that line, Ben. That's such a sick line that no matter where you land, there is hope. There is something beautiful that can come of it. I'm a big believer in that as well. So, talk to me about this concept, this beautiful concept of contradictions, because there's this gentle giant idea. There's this man who's 6'8" who could, destroy, but there's a soft delivery. There's a tender voice. There's musical output that one would not typically associate with someone of such stature. Like, let's just talk about that beautiful contradiction.
yeah, for sure. I think part of the reason I'm like a gentle giant, I'd say I'm the youngest of four siblings, so a lot of the
Mm.
times I was the mediator, and I have two older brothers that are, we would all fight a lot as kids, and so I think my role a lot when I was a kid was being the peaceful moderator in that situation. Um, and also, when I was a kid, I was the most social little, like, I could have a conversation with anybody from like somebody my age to like a 70-year-old. I was just like a social little butterfly. And so I think I just, you know, hold in a lot of patience for people when I was young. And I realized how like necessary that was for my life was to be patient with people. And,
Mhm.
um, well, I think when I was young, because when I was like 8, my parents divorced, and shortly after that, I had a close friend die, and it was this very like adult change in my life at a really young age that forced me into just a different way of thinking. I looked at life more seriously and had um, I feel like more perspective than an 8 or 9-year-old would have. Uh, Somebody that hadn't gone through like tragic things necessarily. Um,
Mhm.
and that forced me to think inward. And also, I think because I'm such a, it's common for artists, but I'm such a self hater. Like I think um, so many artists are, for me at least, I don't know, I don't want to speak for other people, but a lot of my depression and anxiety comes from just self hate, and that's caused me
Mm,
to like be extremely forgiving or maybe gracious towards other people. I think I'm less quick to judge than I was, and I think I've slowly that's reflected in my music as just being, you know, I'm talking about hard, chaotic things, but I have to do it in a soft, peaceful way.
yeah, I appreciate that. So, just for context, with your brothers, are all of them large like you, or are you the anomaly?
I'm not the anomaly. So my parents, my mom and dad are both 6'1" and 6'2". So
Okay.
I come from tall people, but my brothers, one of them's 5'11", and the other, no, actually he's probably like 6 foot, and the other one's like 6'4". So I'm definitely the tallest, but we're all up there. And my sister even, she's 5'11", so we're a
Yeah.
big bunch.
You you said something, really cool there is that it's not the size, right, of the person that matters at all. And just because someone is big versus small, it doesn't mean that they're experiencing life differently. Like life hits us hard all in the same way. And we all have feels in different ways, but in similar ways. And so just because someone might be 6'8", that doesn't mean that necessarily they're going to be more emotionally capable of dealing with those things, right? The physicality doesn't change the emotional level of something. Um, do you carry that balance now with you everywhere with strong and soft, or do you tend to lean to one?
I think tend to lean to soft. I mean, I think there's obviously need for strength and need to stand up for yourself and stand up for others. That's a big thing that I, you know, try to do as well. Um,
Hmm.
but I don't know. I think there's too many hard people right now, strong people. I think it's just like the world needs more grace for each other, I think.
Yeah, I'm a big believer in grace as well, and it's funny because there's one MMA fighter that I love to reference. Um, oh man, and now I'm spacing on his name. Ryan Vader. He did a movie recently with The Rock, the
Mm.
Punching Machine or whatever it was,
Oh yeah,
and I
Smashing
always
Machine. Yeah,
Smash Machine, yeah. I
yeah,
always loved Ryan Bader because he was like a phenomenal wrestler. He was a phenomenal fighter. He could just knock people out, no problem. But he was also like the most gracious. He was also always the kindest and the softest and the sweetest and the first to come over after a fight and thank the person, whether it's a win or a loss. And that balance for me was always beautiful. This beautiful balance of like, I know that I can absolutely destroy shit, but I don't want to because life is beautiful and I want to I want to come forward like you said with grace. Is that
yeah.
something that kind of hits the mark with you, that balance?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think again because I was raised with multiple brothers and we fought a lot. I grew up with that kind of a fighting mentality. I mean, I would never say that I'm a fighter, but you
Mm,
know, I did grow up in a rough housing. So I, I don't know. There's always a side of me. Yeah, you have to tame. I don't know. Yeah, I get angry and I have to say like, oh shit, I could, I don't want to hurt people. I'm not gonna like, I don't know. I'm not gonna take my anger out on people that don't. I don't know.
yeah, no,
I'm
no,
not
no.
a herder. I try to be on the softer side. Yeah.
Well, it's clearly there and it's reflected in your music, and the music's amazing. Like for anyone that's listening or watching that hasn't heard this man's music, it's not what you would expect at all. Think almost like woodsy indie Portland version of Jamiroquai. Does that sound like a
Yeah, that
a
totally makes
good
sense.
a good
I'm a huge
description?
fan of Jamiroquai. I grew up loving that guy. So yeah.
Definitely got Jamiroquai vibes big time. Cool. Well, I appreciate you opening up a little bit, and let's now wrap up with three last ones that are similar in terms of tone. What are you still trying to get better at, Ben?
I'm trying to get better at playing music instruments. I'm a drummer and a singer, and those are like my main things that I've always put, I think, all my musical energy into. But I also, you know, I did, for the most part, DeLoss, my co-band leader and best friend, he wrote with me a lot of these tunes on that album. But a lot of the first stuff we did, and like most, I don't know, 6 out of the 10 songs on this album were written and composed by me. So I want to get better and more into that, you know, how to actually put my thoughts onto a instrument. Because I feel like a lot of the
Hmm.
when I make music, a lot of the times it's me like trying to find something instead of just knowing where to put it. So
What do you know now that you wish you'd known sooner?
I guess just like I kind of knew this, but I didn't know the depth of it, but just how time consuming and life consuming art and music can be. Um, like, and financially consuming. Um, it's just kind of it's become everything in my life, definitely, which I didn't
Hmm.
know, and not that I necessarily needed to know that sooner, but I don't know that I would have changed anything, but I maybe would have saved up some more money.
Fair. I appreciate all of your candor today and getting a little deeper there. Wrap me up with this last question. What does choosing love mean to you?
Hmm. I think choosing love means choosing to go through hard things with somebody and choosing to be there no matter what. It's through the thick and the thin. And also just I think choosing grace is choosing love too. Just, realizing that when you see somebody that you have no idea what they're going through, and you can either be a light in that person's life or another pebble in their shoe.